Hey YouTube, welcome back to JTD Bladesmithing. Out here in the garage right now, it's nice out, probably almost 65 degrees. Gonna get back to this boning knife. Taking some time off working on that to come up with some ideas and talk to a few people. And what we've got here is two pieces of flat bar stock. This one I've taken to the grinder and pulled off the mill scale versus this leftover piece here that I didn't take the mill scale off. You can see it's pretty dull and it's oily. Well, you can't really see it's oily, but there's some oil on there and whatnot being shipped from the manufacturer. So to keep things clean, I used 120 grit on my little belt sander and took the forge scale off. And next step, I'm going to take the template for the boning knife and I'm going to transfer it to this so I can work on doing stock removal to form the handle, and we'll get to that next. Alright gang, we're back. I've got the template cut out and set onto our piece of steel. Now obviously the point of the blade is much longer than what I've got here, so I'm going to have to draw that out through the forging process. But to start, I'm going to use a disc grinder and basically cut across the handle. I'm going to hammer that out and thin that down because I want to do an integral bolster, which is going to come in right around where this pinhole is. And then the blade will be flattened out with the bolster running through here. But this is what I was talking about, Dychem. It is layout fluid. Comes with a little brush in the handle cap. And this is how we're going to do this. The camera went blank, so I can't tell exactly what I was looking at until I review this. But take your layout fluid, you draw a line across, or you can fill the entire thing if you want. I don't need to fill the whole thing because I'm basically only going to scribe where the handle's going, or where the handle's going to be. You lay your paper on top. Now, sometimes on my knives in the past, I've actually glued the paper to the steel, but that's not going to be necessary with this design. Alright, so that's where that's at. And find your scribing tool, which is in the toolbox, standby. So in order to cut out a whole bunch of noise from running the disc grinder, I put my camera in its life-proof case thing that doesn't record sound, but I do have this cut relatively close to where I can do a lot of the hammering on this for the handle, and all the rest of that I'll just deal with that later. But due to the fact there's only so many hours in a day and I gotta eat dinner and whatnot, I hope everybody has a good evening. Please tell your friends about JTD Bladesmithing, like, and be sure to subscribe to see further episodes of Making the Boning Knife. Thank you once again. Take care, YouTube. Alright, so the Scribe I use is an old mechanics tool. Got 2 points on there for drawing out circles and radiuses and whatnot, and I only use a one end. But what this is going to do is going to scratch a line in the steel, so I have an idea of where this is all supposed to be. Maybe I should have glued it, but this gives me a rough idea where it's going to end up, and I figure at this juncture I might as well do shout out time. I'd like to do a shout out to Hugh. Hugh's an electrician at work. He's been following me, and he actually asked me today, when's he going to see another video? So Hugh, here's the video. Just step number 2 in a long process is going to be this boning knife. Another shout out is going to go to John Nagel. Mr. John is a Forged in Fire champion, and he actually takes the time to answer my questions when I contact him and gives me helpful insight and whatnot. So what we've got here is the Scribe line for the handle. Now I'm just going to use the disc grinder and cut so far out, and again, that's what they call stock removal, not forging, but I am going to forge in the palm swell and whatnot for the handle, and then I'm obviously going to forge the blade out. So for now, that's where we're at, and we'll keep going. cut out a whole bunch of noise from running the disc grinder. I put my camera in its life-proof case thing that doesn't record sound, but I do have this cut relatively close to where I can do a lot of the hammering on this for the handle, and all the rest of that I'll just deal with that later. But due to the fact there's only so many hours in a day and I gotta eat dinner and whatnot, I hope everybody has a good evening. Please tell your friends about JTD Bladesmithing, like, and be sure to subscribe to see further episodes of Making the Boning Knife. Thank you once again. Take care, YouTube.